There's a very specific message today, and it's gonna resonate with a lot of us. Probably all of us, really, though, because, yeah. Let's just light this up and sage the room so there's nothing really. We're just gonna get rid of all of that. Okay. You're gonna know what I'm talking about, trust me. It is really, really important to understand this message because so many of us get stuck and lost in this mindset that like there's chaos and just bad things happening around us because of what we deserve or because of what we've experienced, or we're just stuck in a timeline, which is, it's bizarre to me, but at the same time, it's the only thing that makes sense because we get stuck in, overthinking anyway, like on top of everything else. And so it's like, well, yeah, of course we're going to feel stuck sometimes, or a good portion of the time when we're on this planet, because there's so much chaos, there is so much darkness, and there is so much light at the same time. But it's really about opening your perception up to these other elements in the world so you can understand them better and transmute all of that into a better intellectual, deep, and spiritual understanding. I know that sounds a little out there, but it is going to make a lot of sense. But let's before I know I tricked you. I wasn't holding cards. I was lying. I'm holding cards now. So, if you're new to this channel, we do 3 card pulls before every video because we want to confirm the energy and just kind of like get a little bit more clarity on the topic today. And it actually helps me more than it helps you probably because it helps me focus on what we're talking about, which is the Queen of Pentacles. You, babe, you are the Queen of Pentacles. So, whether you're a woman, a man, we all have divine feminine, we all have divine masculine. I know that this will probably resonate with more of the divine feminine crowd just because of the transmutation process and the darker elements that we face. Not to say that, obviously masculines face the dark energies as well. But to be honest, this is really about finding truth. Like, the divine feminine is always about finding more soul fulfillment. Like, she is not a creature of complacement. She yearns for more in life. She yearns for more adventure. She yearns for more love. She yearns for more soul fulfilling like activities, and she doesn't bind herself to any contracts. Although we can get stuck in this mindset that we are in these soul contracts and that we have to live a certain way in order for divine union, or in order for divine union within ourselves, not just with a partnership. Like, so we can get stuck in this mindset that like if we don't do things a certain way religiously, then we're just never going to actually experience what we deserve and what we want. And it's really about rising above that thought process as well, because yes, it could be a part of it, depending on what your perception of that, what that means. However, we really have to get into the understanding that like we go through situationships, we go through karmic situations to really trigger this deeper understanding of what we want and what we deserve and what we believe that we deserve, like truly deeply deserve. Because a lot of us has this mindset that like we're stuck doing these toxic things because of like past life, past karma, some things that we did to other people, which could be some elements of truth, don't get me wrong. However, there's this trouble when we go through, let's say, the tower. When we go through the tower, like we lose so much. We lose so much of our past life, and it's not even necessarily that like we're losing things that we are, that are beneficial for us in any way. Like, we get stuck losing things that really were a lot more draining than they were beneficial. Like, we lost our job, our 9 to 5, or we lost a relationship with like a toxic person. And so it's heartbreaking, don't get me wrong, but there's this sense of like gaining when you're actually losing. And I know that sounds silly, that sounds fishy, But really, like, when we lose, the bad things, like, sometimes spirit just needs to take things away from us sometimes because there's just not something clicking in our head, which is totally okay because, like, we're stuck in the moment. No matter what there is in life, no matter what we understand about life, the spiritual, the energetic, or the manifestation part, we can get stuck. And that is not your fault. That is not anybody specific. That's not anybody's fault. There's no blame here. However, you can get stuck by just dwelling in this thought process, or just going through the cycle itself. Like, the cycle itself can make you feel stuck. Which, it's like, well, if the cycle's making me feel stuck, then how am I ever going to get out of it? Well, I will tell you, because situationships, those triggering situationships, will spark this self-interest in you where you're like, yeah, you know what? I have been making some bad choices. I've been making some bad choices, or not even necessarily bad choices, but some non-beneficial choices in love, companionship, um, or just in my personal immediate life. Like, sometimes we don't prioritize ourselves, and so we just get clustered with so many things that we need to do on our day off, or and then that is time consuming, that is energy draining. And so it's like, well, how am I ever supposed to get out of this mindset? How am I supposed to ever start growing? And how am I ever supposed to get out of this if it's just here and this is what I know, and I don't know what the next step is, or let alone what I want the next step to be. Like, it gets so confusing. But at the same time, again, these situationships, and I have so many videos, hint, hint, wink, go watch them, about these situationships, karmic relationships, and shadow work, because these things will trigger you into self-care. They will trigger you into self-love. And yeah, there is maybe some darkness to that, but at the same time, like, we have been given choices in our past that we were not capable of seeing because there were so many other things going on in our life, and this mindset of, well, this is what I'm experiencing now, and this is it. This is all there is to experience. And so you get in this mindset that whatever it is in front of you is it. That's all. That's all there is. And so it's like, well, how are you supposed to see past that? So again, these situationships help you see past that because you lose so much of your money, you lose so much of your income, and you just kind of get angsty and maybe even drop everything. And so you have to basically start from scratch. I did. So there's a lot to that, and I could go on and on. It would probably take hours and maybe months to really get through all of this. But I want to break it down in simple terms so you can understand that a lot of it is really just your mindset. But at the same time, these situations, like, they can really trigger you into a better sense of self-care, self-love, and just really finding what it is that is so soul-fulfilling anyway, because there's so many things that we could be doing. So that can be overstimulating itself, like overstimulation from all these options and all of these choices. So it's like, well, what do I choose? I don't know what's going to make me happy. Like, what if something makes me happy one day, but something else makes me happy the next day? Yes, I get it. Trust me. I am I'm all over the place too sometimes. Don't feel like just because you can see somebody having everything figured out and all kinds of things coming together for them that they have everything figured out. It is, oh God. That is not true. We all go through it. We all go through the tower moment. We all go through these karmic experiences so we can learn more about ourselves and about our interactions with other people, places, things, and experiences. So just really sit with that and understand that, you're not a victim. You're not a victim to life. Things are not happening to you. They're happening through, around, and for you. And you're just a part of this. You're just a part of everything. That's all. That's all that matters. You're just a part of everything. I know it's simple. It's simple and yet scary at the same time because it's so simple. But you really you need to explore. You need to explore. You need to go out and try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. I know we hear that all the time. Yes, it's triggering. You're like, yeah, I know that. Come on, shut up. But getting out of your comfort zone is really what's going to help you get back into your creativity, get back into something so fulfilling. It's gonna get you out of that toxic lifestyle that you're just kind of complacent. You're like chill, okay? Maybe you're not like depressed, maybe you're not sad, maybe you're not unsatisfied, but you're just here. That's it. Some of us are okay with that, but that's cool. It really is. It's all to each what we want to experience. Like some of us don't need to experience like high frequency things in order to be stimulated. That's cool too. Trust me. Like some of us like don't even take psychedelics. A lot of us, like me personally, my spiritual experience, I didn't take like I've had psychedelics before, but I didn't take psychedelics to really trigger my spiritual awakening. It did not happen that way. I like didn't drink fluoridated water for like 2 years. Conspiracy theories, I know, whatever. But like, I'm just saying, fluoride does calcify your pineal gland, which is where DMT is created. Yes, you don't consume DMT, you just trigger the DMT that's naturally occurring in your body. Oh, what? Yeah, that says a lot. I'm just saying. So, if you're wanting to tap into anything like that's soul fulfilling, just allow yourself to be free, allow yourself to surrender to what life wants to show you, because that is like the scariest thing for us to do. I know. Sometimes it doesn't sound that scary, but really actually taking action into that truth. Like, I'm gonna, like, let the world, the universe, grab hold of this wheel and take me wherever I need to go. That actually fulfilling that thought. It's one thing to say it, it's one thing to actually do it. And you just gotta let go sometimes. You gotta let go of expectations. Ooh, girl. You gotta let go of expectations and just allow the universe to bring you what you want, because the King of Cups, this masculine energy is here too. I don't know if this is like romantic. I hope we're not getting into a romance video, because that's not what this is about. But I'm just saying, like, you can experience more things for yourself. You just don't know what they are yet. You don't know what it is that you want to experience. And like, okay, well, just let the universe do the hard work for you. Like, just experience what you signed up for. Like, that's what Spirit's telling me to tell you. Like, just let it happen. The bad things, the good things, the mediocre things, I know. But it's so important to experience all of these things, because we need balance. We can't just be completely high all the time up here. Like, our dopamine receptors do not work that way. Our serotonin receptors do not work that way. So just don't expect to be high up here 24/7. Yes, you can be elevated. Yes, that's not what I'm saying, that it's like wrong to be happy 24/7. I'm just saying, like, you should allow yourself to experience the ups and the downs, because that's where real gratitude comes from. It comes from losing things, people, places, and opportunities. And that's where we really get our deep soul fulfilling like opportunities. That's where we learn more about ourselves and what we want to experience, because we're like, well, okay, I lost all these things, and you know what? They weren't actually benefiting me. And like, look, listen to that. That change of perception, just it snaps in an instant. And so other things, it's basically like jumping a timeline. You're basically jumping a timeline when you swarp. Swarp is not a word. When you warp or change, whatever, your mindset into thinking like, okay, well, there's more things for me to experience. I don't have to just sit here and do these things. I can do more. I can tap into my creativity. I can tap into writing. I can tap into music. I can tap into just trying new foods. Maybe I'm not like the greatest cook or whatever, but I can like at least try to cook. Be careful, please. This is not The Sims. Do not set your house on fire. I love you. Work up your skill points. But like, seriously, you can try different things, and that will allow you to not just fulfill your soul, but it will allow you to kind of try. Trial and error is the biggest thing of life. Like, nothing in this universe has everything figured out. Like, the gods have a lot of figured out. The universe, the higher being, source, whatever you want to call it, the universe, it does not have everything figured out. That because we are here to figure it out with the universe. I know this sounds weird. Like, well, okay, then why am I here? You're not here for a specific reason. I know that that's scary too, but like that's my point. Like you don't have to put all these like contracts on your soul. You don't have to put these expectations on yourself in order to really understand like live a better lifestyle or live a happier lifestyle. Like you can do things in a different way, and just that alone will allow you to experience more. And I know that's so simple. How is that ever really gonna come true? Because it's so simple. It really is your mindset. I think I should probably call this video mindset instead of whatever else I was planning on calling it, because like everything will boil back down to your mindset. And yeah, okay, like how many times do we have to hear that from like a life coach or whatever? Like I know, I get it, but at the same time it's so purely true. And hold up, I dropped some more cards, so we're just gonna go ahead and read them because I trust the dropped cards more than I trust any other card. But yeah, it helps you, it helps you with temperance. It helps you find balance and learning how to really pour back into yourself. When we lose partners, when we lose love, when we lose our expectations from other people, we learn that the best form of real love, pure love, is going to always come back to ourselves. Because I know that that sounds kind of lame. I know that sounds kind of boring or whatever, but at the same time, like, we can't expect other people to be our light. We can't expect them to be our happiness. And, like, because that person could have other things that they need to do in their lifespan, there could be other, like, events in their lifespan. And if you base all of your love, all of your care, and all of your focus on another person, it's going to bite you in the behind, because you're going to one day either lose that person because of your expectations, or you're going to really like they might just leave because there's other things that they need to experience in their life, which is totally okay. Like love should be free flowing. I know that sounds scary too, but it's like, having all these expectations on another person is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt them. Well, actually, no, I'm lying. It's going to hurt both of y'all really. It can. Not always, but it can actually hurt both of y'all and put some like really like like damaging effects on both of y'all's souls, these expectations of other people. And yeah, we should have expectations, yeah, we should have boundaries, yeah, we should like, put people up and things, but like we gotta be realistic too at the same time. Like, other people face demons, other people face like hardships, and it's really about understanding your own inner balance so you can face your own hardships. And doing that in turn will allow you to understand other people better, and it will allow you to focus yourself back on your options, your choices in life. And it's going to allow you to know that, there's not, just because you're experiencing one thing one day doesn't mean that's going to be everything always. There's so much more. This is the tree of life. These are all these different colored tiles, are all of your different options, all of the choices that you can make. And baby, I just got one other message for you, because well, it's not the last one, but you is the star. You are the main character. You need to embody that type of energy, because it's going to benefit you more than any other mindset, any other belief system. It's going to give you so much strength. That was a long reading today, but I told you that like it helps me more than it helps you. And look at that, I used cards the entire video. We're like 18 minutes into a reading. That's crazy. And I did so many cards. But it's so important. It's so important to just realize that you don't have to have these expectations for yourself or other. Well, yeah, okay. Hear me out. Yeah, we need expectations. Yeah, we have to set ourselves up for success and what we want to really experience. But again, having that let go moment, and also going through the hardships and then the let go moment, I should say, that's going to bring you into yourself, and it's going to allow you to see more things for yourself. It's going to allow you to prioritize yourself because you're going to have more time for yourself, trust me. Whew. But it's also going to allow you to, like, learn that, you know, you don't have to live like the 9 to 5. You don't have to live, especially like now with like technology, there's so many opportunities to make income. And yeah, that itself is pretty overstimulating too, or it can be. But like, utilize social media. Utilize like, I'm not gonna tell you that you should follow other people and try to base your entire experience off of what other people are doing and is making them successful, because it's really not how it works. When you copy somebody else's like work, when you try to like be somebody else, it's going to bite you in the ass, bro. Like, and not in, it really depends on how toxic you are about it, but really it's just going to like put you in this mind zone that you're not being yourself. And maybe you were consciously experience that or subconsciously experience it, and or not even having any understanding at all. I mean, like, but really, like, trying to live somebody else's life or base your idea of life off of somebody else and what they're doing is just not going to, it's not going to click in your head. First of all, like, what they went through and why they're experiencing life the way that they are and the choices that they made, because their lifespan brought them to where they are. So just wanting to copy what other people are doing is not going to bring you the happiness and the fulfillment. And so again, that is why we individually go through the experiences more so, and that's why there's so many bad things going on. But like that alone, and knowing and understanding and passing this wisdom down to other people is going to allow them to not have to experience it, especially the really bad things. But it's also going to allow them to realize that they can breathe and they can just try new things, and that can be their soul-fulfilling mission, is just trying new things, because doing that can also bring you in new opportunities for abundance. Like, I watch people make videos about people watching videos, and like they make money doing that. Okay, so if you can watch somebody else's video and get paid to do that, I'm sorry, there's so much more to life that you can experience. Yeah, but like, come on, like, set your standards right. Yeah, but like, come on, utilize that perspective, because if somebody can watch other people's videos and make money watching other people's videos, those reaction videos, the review videos, and then I'm just being silly, this is just an example. Like, if they can make money doing that sort of thing, you can figure out a way to make money doing what the things that you love. So look for what you enjoy, look for what you love, look for the passion, and even if you don't see it bright, maybe it's not shining, maybe it's not like a diamond or a crystal is more likely what you're gonna be looking for. Maybe it's not this shining, glimmering, like, blossoming thing where you're like, yeah, this is magical. It doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't. It could just be like cooking every day. Like, that could be your soul fulfilling mission. And I know this sounds silly and simple, but food brings us dopamine. It is a happiness trigger. So I'm just saying, like, utilize that perspective to bring in abundance, to attract more things for yourself, and to realize that you don't have to re-experience traumatic events. You don't have to re-experience karma, and you don't have to go through karmic situationships if you don't want to. You can just be like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to participate in that. But you're learning, if you're just avoiding the shadow work and you're avoiding the learning aspect, then it's going to come up in different ways. I'm just saying. Warning. Warning. Don't just like, nah, I'm not going to experience life, period, because I don't want to experience those bad things. Like, don't go with that mindset. Go with the mindset that you're going to learn about yourself, and you're going to learn about others, and you're going to be free flowing with that energy, and then the toxicity, the negativity, the pessimism, all of this stuff will just dissolve eventually. No, it won't happen completely overnight. Sometimes it does, but for those of us that it takes time and it takes effort, know that and realize and watch it slowly dissolve as you find yourself and as you bring yourself into your creative zone and doing the things that make you happy and learning how to make money doing it. Dude, who wouldn't want that? You deserve so much better for yourself. And maybe you've made bad choices, okay? This is for my other peeps. I love you guys. Maybe you've made some bad choices in life. I'm not perfect. I've, done some bad things. I have, I'm not putting myself on no pedestal. I won't put myself on the stand. But I'm not perfect. I am, I've done things that, are strange to a lot of people. Some people have demonized me because of the witchcraft. It's cool. I get it. But at the same time, like, you don't have to like have this specific framework and idea of life and think that you're a bad person 24/7 just because you've made some mistakes or made some bad choices or hurt some people. Okay, and I'm not gonna, we're not gaslighting, we're not talking about really, really bad people either. Like, okay, let's be realistic about what I'm saying. Hold people up to standards, of course. But, just because you've made some bad choices or you've hurt some people, you've cheated, you've lied, manipulated, like you can unlearn those things. Maybe you were taught those things by other people and that's why you know them and that's why you use those tactics and those manipulation points to try to win somebody's favor or win somebody over or just, want to control a situation because you're scared. You're based off your feelings and your choices are based off of fear, lack, abandonment. Like that, totally understandable, but you have to understand it and you have to be realistic about it and you have to hold yourself accountable if you want to get out of that. If you want to get out of that zone, if you want to get out of the negativity, if you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to experience better things, you deserve it too. Okay, don't let other fuck. I don't care. Maybe it's your ex telling you that you don't deserve shit, or I'm sorry for all this cursing, but I just want to be real and raw with y'all. Like, just because somebody has told you in the past that you don't deserve whatever doesn't mean that they were right. They could have been saying that out of anger, they could have been saying that out of fear, they could have been completely wrong and asinine and lying to you. But at the same time, be realistic about that mirror because, yeah, people project, but at the same time, like, what were they saying and what can you do and see and journal and figure out about whatever that was because maybe there's some underlying truth or maybe there's some type of approach that we can find with this toxicity that somebody has said to you and maybe we can utilize it as a perspective like this person doesn't like the things that I do because I'm directing them at them or like whatever it is that gets much more complicated, don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I'm just saying, like, just because you've experienced bad things or caused bad things in other people's lives, you were growing, you were learning, you knew what you were doing, sure, but at the same time, you were doing what you knew how to do. You were living the life that was presented to you by other people, and so that's why you chose the toxic route. That's why you chose the negative route, the pessimistic, pessimistic. Okay, you know what? Whatever, the pessimist route, like maybe that was just all you were taught. And that's where the child trauma learning, all of the shadow work comes into play. It allows you to realize that you're not this demonic evil creature that you've been told or are telling yourself. You can experience better things. You just have to get out of the karma. You have to be accountable. You have to be responsible and you have to be honest with yourself and other people. Be raw, be open. You will see so much benefit from being raw and open with your creativity and with other people. And I know that we don't want to open ourselves up to every individual that comes into our life because, yeah, people come and go. Yes, sometimes people do hold those things against us, but that's their problem. That's something that they're projecting onto you. And maybe there's some type of balance here that we can find with like these traumatic experiences or toxic experiences that we can really find about ourselves and learn how to grow. And I know that's not always what we want to do. We don't always want to see ourselves the way other people are seeing ourselves, but if we're constantly getting told something and we're not being like responsible, or we're not looking in the mirror or seeing the things that we're causing other people, like, just take a step back and just come back to focusing on yourself, and journal. Do whatever it takes to realize the things that you're doing are not maybe necessarily wrong, but are affecting other people, and what you can do to come out of that zone, so you're being more supportive of others and you're being more loving and unconditional. But at the same time, again, hold those expectations and hold those boundaries. Just be realistic about them, and don't be toxic about them, because so many of us have these toxic mindsets about people, places, and things just generally. And so we've like completely cut ourselves off from love. We cut ourselves off from experiencing new things. We cut ourselves off from just being happy, because we're just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to deal with this. Let's deal with this tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes the next day and the next day and the next day. You know what I mean. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't. So I hope today's video really resonates, and I hope you understand what I'm saying, because every one of us deserves more. Like, I don't care. I don't care. There's some fucked up creatures on this planet. Yeah, there's some evil creatures on this planet who are completely based off of, greed and pain and all kinds of suffering. Totally get that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who have pure intentions, or have the intention to change and grow and be better. So give those people the time of day. Try to be there and be supportive in your own way, without like enabling, and without like, you know, putting somebody up on a pedestal that, yeah, they're growing, they're changing, blah blah blah. Hold themselves accountable for the things that they've done, but don't make that your definition of that person. Don't define them by the choices, the bad choices, or the good choices that they've made. Just allow them to be a person. Whoa. I know. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.